Got it.
All right, I'm ready to go. So, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Perfect. So, here we go. We're on in three, in two, and one. Welcome or welcome back, everyone, to another exciting episode of Aaron's Opinion. And today we have the great honor to be joined by Stacey Paulson. And you are quite a character. You're doing a lot for VisionCast. Actually, you're the manager, and you've also had a fascinating life so far. I'll ask the question I ask anyone: who is Stacey Paulson? Your hour starts now.
Um, Thanks, Aaron. Well, Stacy is also Crazy Stacy 25. I don't use my last name normally. Um, Not usually, unless I'm doing something legal or whatever. Um, but yes, my name is Stacy, aka Crazy Stacy 25. I am the director. I prefer that title better than manager because manager is kind of like you're working at a store. So I prefer to I, I prefer to be referred to as the director. I am the director and one of the producers of VisionCast. I guess head producer would be accurate. Um, I'm 35 years old. I'll be 36 this fall, and I am a singer, a musician. I like to write music, and in fact, I just recently collaborated with one of our audience members, Eddie, aka EJ the Phoenix, on the title track for his exclusive YouTube album, and that's going to be featured today officially on our talent show at 3 o'clock. So hopefully you guys can tune into that. Um, so a little bit about me. I've been blind my whole life. I was born blind. My problem is with my optic nerves. They It's called optic nerve hypoplasia or septo-optic dysplasia. It can be referred to either way. Basically, it is when there is no signal being sent to the brain, is basically what that means. My right eye, I have a little bit of peripheral vision. My left eye, I'm completely blind. Um, but this is all I know. This is what I've always known, and I've learned to adapt and adjust, and works out great. Um, I'm a very unconventional person. I'm very spiritual, very much a free spirit. And I am in a relationship, but it's called a polyamorous relationship or an open relationship. That means that um, I'm able to have consensual relationships with more than one person, as long as all parties are in the know. I have my wonderful boyfriend, George, who I love and adore more than anything. He's been there for me for, you know, the whole time we've known each other. We will be together 9 years coming up in February. Oh, thanks, JC. Thanks, JC. Yes, my beloved boyfriend George, who I love more than anything in this world. He did say he was going to tune in and listen, so hopefully he's there. Um, my other boyfriend, his name is Philip. Now he's sighted, he has vision. Um, but it really means a lot that he was open minded to give dating a blind person a chance because I've had sighted partners bail on me because of that fact. So it's really nice to know that he sees past that and is willing to give me a shot. Oh, thanks, Eddie. And I have my beautiful girlfriend Haley, which I don't know if I emailed her the I didn't email her the link. Darn it. Um, got busy today, but my beautiful girlfriend Haley and my beautiful girlfriend Angela. and I'm very happy. I'm very much in an open relationship. Oh, I love thee, my dearest Philip. And yeah, that's who I am. Very, very free spirited and goofy in that way. Not ashamed to admit I identify as bisexual, but I'm more attracted to girls than guys, even though right now I'm pretty much even across the board, but I do love both, and I'm hoping to have at some point an interview we were talking about with all my partners about being poly and in the LGBTQ and stuff like that. So that's a little bit about who I am.
That's great. Perfect. So, Stacey, you said something to me that really spoke to me that I really want to unravel. I know that today we're not going to get into the whole relationship thing, that you want to wait until we can get, a group of you and all of your partners together, and we can all talk about relationships just in one episode there. However, you said something that still spoke to me. You
Okay.
said that you're a spiritual person, and you said that you're a free-spirited person and spiritual person, and then you started talking about all these great relationships that you have. It's clear to me that you understand relationships. It's clear to me that you accept that you might not be conventional, as you say, you're unconventional.
Oh,
And
very
then,
much so.
good. And then you say that you're spiritual. So let me ask you something. What about that God guy? What do you think about God? What do you think about your spirit and your purpose? What is the purpose of Stacey?
I believe that God is real. I don't believe when I think of God, I don't look at him as the way, like, say, the church would look at him. I look at God basically as the light, is what I call him. He's basically the creator of the universe, and I do believe that there is a Jesus. I don't necessarily believe that he is the Messiah and the Savior, like the church says he is, but I do believe he exists. I'm more of a, I don't want to say 100% pagan. I lean more toward pagan, but I'm more spiritual really than anything else. I would rather say I'm more of a spiritualist than religion. Um, and so like I do believe that there is a God, that he's real. I think that and no offense to Christians, and I know we have several Christians in the audience, but I believe that organized religion is man-made, church is man-made, and God is unconditional love. That's what God is.
Yeah,
And that's, yeah.
yeah. By the way, guess what? I'm Jewish. So you forgot to mention M1 Jew.
Oh, I have a friend who's Jewish, but yeah, I
Yeah,
don't believe there's a Messiah or a
right.
Savior.
Right. Well, you have a friend. The host that's talking to you right now is Jewish.
Oh, cool. Well, that's cool to know. Yeah.
I also share a lot of your spirituality of what you said too about God, that it's basically the light, the force that created us, and the love in all of our hearts. And I think that's very wise of you. I really do. Um,
Thanks.
one of my friends who was on the podcast in the past is a deeply well I also am a conservative person, a deeply conservative person, traditional person, things like that. But there's this one particular fellow who's been on my podcast several times. And he we recorded a series of playlists called PAR, Philosophy and Religion, and it was me, these two other guys, and a pastor that is part of Aaron's Opinion, and we would talk about these matters. And this particular guy asked me one time, he's like, Aaron, you're a Jewish person. What do you really think about that Messiah guy? And I basically said, to make a long story short, I said that the concept of Messiah and what will happen when end times comes, what happens is we know the truth. And the answer of who or what Messiah is love. That's what Messiah is the concept of being kind and love and loving
Exactly.
and accepting truth.
Exactly. I
And
agree with that.
I told who knows? I also said, but I'm not God. So I don't know. Nobody quite knows, you know? Yeah.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah, that is all really good. So then moving forward from God and your love for God, um, when did you, yeah, we're going to talk about relationships because you brought it up, and then we'll still continue it more deeply when we do this special episode about that. But so what are some of your life experiences and your lived experiences that you've had that have led you on this journey to find this unconventional relationship that you love so much?
okay. Well, actually, I was monogamous. There was once upon a time. Surprise, surprise. I had a boyfriend, um, but I wasn't very happy with him because we didn't get to see each other all that much. And I was living with my parents at the time, and we just it we should have the relationship should have died sooner than it did, being honest. And I don't know what he's doing in his life. I lost touch with him, but I do wish him happiness, and I don't wish ill on anybody. I'm all about love. So, but I had a boyfriend at the time. This was in 2013. And just things we broke up about a year later. Um, it just seemed like I wanted to explore because I was going back and forth, on the spectrum. Okay, am I lesbian? Am I bisexual? I mean, and so that didn't really help either. But I met a guy. I haven't talked to him in forever, but my friend Carrie, he lives in Australia. He's a really sweet guy. And he was the one that told me about polyamory and what it meant. And I've always been a very open minded person. I've always loved learning. So, of course, I asked him questions, and it just sounded really intriguing. So I decided to try it. um, and I've had some relationships work out beautifully, like the one I have with George. In February, it'll be 9 years. I've had some relationships go to shit, basically. But at the end of the day, you know, I I just feel I know a lot of the people in the monogamous community will disagree with me, but I feel monogamy is kind of like a prison, like as if you're forced to be with just one person. And like I said, I want freedom. I and I think that's why it's interesting because I'm a Scorpio and my boyfriend George is a Sagittarius, and they say, well, Sagittarius and Scorpio aren't a very good match because Sagittarius wants freedom and Scorpio wants you to be committed all the time. But even though I'm a Scorpio, I'm like, well, I want freedom too. I don't want to be, I mean, yes, I want to be committed to George, don't get me wrong. I am very, very, very much and very deeply committed to him. And I'm committed to Philip, and I'm committed to Haley, and I'm committed to Angela. I'm committed to every one of them, and I love them all the same. But I want to explore. I want to roam. I feel like just being with one person is. I get restless, I get stir crazy, and I feel like I'm just tied down and forced to commit when I want freedom. And this relationship gives me the freedom as long as I communicate with all of my partners. And even some of my partners have gone on to have other relationships as well, and I'm happy for them.
Right. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So what do you think about people who are cancers?
Uh, it's funny.
Because
Water
the funny
signs.
because it's funny because you're talking to one of them. I'm a cancer. Cancer in the house, baby.
Yeah, my dad's a Cancer as well.
So what do you think of cancer? People who are cancer. Yeah.
My history. It's funny because They say that all water signs are supposed to be compatible, but I'm more compatible with fire because I feel like we can understand each other more, even though I am technically water. Uh, I mean, I try to get along with Cancer and Pisces and all of that, but
I think
I'm,
you're doing fine. I think you're doing fine getting along with me. I think you get along with
oh yeah,
Cancer great.
I accept everybody for who they are. Of course, I don't care what their sign is, but I have had more fights with Pisces than
Hmm.
any other sign. And we're supposed to be compatible and everything, according to the. But
Right.
I'm more compatible with Sagittarius and Aries, and because I
Hmm.
understand, I understand them better. It's like I'm weird. I'm a Scorpio, but I'm weird that way.
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, that could be. I mean, there's a lot of debate right now about our sign, horoscope sign, and whether it's true, and the truth of it all. Um, I don't really know. I mean, it's fun to think about it. It's fun to associate certain personality traits with a
Yeah,
certain time of year to be born. And, with the workings of the universe, some of these things can be true. Although I recently learned that astrology is in my opinion, basically kind of a pseudoscience, not necessarily true.
yeah. I
So,
mean, with
yeah.
all due respect, I mean, obviously, I know there are people who like it, but with all due respect, I don't believe in it because, from my own personal experience, I mean, it's totally contradictory.
Hmm.
Oh, Scorpio and Sagittarius are a tough match. It won't work. Well, it works just fine. So it's kind of like I mean, with all due
Hmm.
respect, I just don't believe in astrology. I don't think
Yeah.
it's accurate.
Yeah, or it's not really. I mean, or numerology too. Numerology is pretty interesting though. It's studying the way that the universe has different numbers and the way the numbers of the universe work and things like that. That's kind of cool. It's kind of fun. You know. Do I believe it 100%? No, I really don't, Stacey. But if it turns out somehow, some way that some of these astrology things are proven to be true in our lifetime, I wouldn't also be surprised. I mean, who knows? The universe is a very, very complicated, is a very, very complex thing. So who knows? Who knows?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I know some people who believe in it, but as far as my experience, it has
Hmm.
yet to be true. I mean, if I might be wrong sometime, but as far as my experience, it has yet to be true.
It is
So,
yet to be completely proven. Right. Right. Well, that's pretty
right.
cool. That's pretty cool. What do you really want to know when you look at someone like me, who's a conservative person, traditional person, conventional person, old fashioned, strict, straight, single? What do you think of us people like me?
Well, see, as far as like I'm in the middle of the road. I'm neither conservative nor liberal. I'm like 50-50 because I used to be more Democrat, um,
Right.
but I've realized I've become more 50-50. I swing right on some things and left on others. I don't really care. It doesn't matter to me what kind
Hmm.
of a person you are and what your beliefs are, just as long as you respectfully agree to disagree and don't judge me. I won't
Right.
judge you. I mean, it's a two-way respect is a two-way street. That's just how I see it. I mean, George is more conservative than I am. I don't agree with him on some things, and he doesn't agree with me on some things, but we respect each other and love each other enough. We don't let it consume us. Honestly, I think it's stupid. You should never, I was on Facebook dating and like some of the people on there were like, no Trumpers, please. I don't want to date anyone who's a Trumper. And I just kind of shake my head and go, what the hell does it even matter?
Yeah.
I don't, I mean, personally, I don't like the guy, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to be opposed to somebody who does like him.
Right.
I, I don't like Biden either, though. So
Right.
that's why I say I'm more in the middle. So
At this point, I think the best answer either way is to be in the middle. I am someone, because you know how open I am. I'm actually a really overly open person, and I can see with all the love in your heart that you love people who are open. So I'm never afraid to tell you I voted for Trump twice, both times. But do I think the country is any better off under either one, Trump or Biden? No, I think our country overall is in a mess. Oh, is
I
overall wrecked,
Yeah, I
basically.
agree. I
And
voted for
neither
Trump
and
as well.
neither and neither and neither of the past two presidents, in my opinion, are appropriate for the country. Neither are the right choice for the country.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's neither is what we
I
yeah.
yeah, I the only reason I voted for Trump, not because I liked him, not because I'm a fan of him. In fact,
Hmm.
I've taken offense to a couple of his speeches that he said, a couple of the things he said. I've taken offense to it, talking the way he did about Mexicans because I'm part Latino. So yeah,
Right.
I did take offense to some of the things he said. I do think he comes off racist sometimes, but at the same time, I don't like Biden either. If I had to choose who was going to be better, uh, wouldn't be him. Not in
It's
my
hard.
opinion,
It's
anyway.
it's hard. It's hard to tell because both of them are so not good and so repulsive in different ways that I can't tell which one is worse, but I know they're both bad.
They
Yeah,
are. That's the
yeah.
thing. They're
They're both
both
really
bad.
bad.
I just don't. I normally I don't discuss politics a lot because
Well, yeah. Well, that's all. That's
yeah,
all. That's all. That's all. Really, really, really interesting, and
yeah,
I think it says a lot about our society that people are so polarized and
yeah.
so
I'm careful who
closed-minded.
I talk about it with because it gets heated.
Yeah,
But I mean that's just my personal opinion. But I respectfully am willing to agree to disagree with people. It's just the other people that get so heated about it, and it's like.
I know. I know. It's
But I
it's
agree
a.
with
I
I do
think what
agree
it
with Denny's
is.
point that he made.
I didn't quite catch it in the text chat. What did he say?
I'd have to go back and read it but
Oh,
fully, but yeah,
it
it's
is. It is,
controversial.
Danny. It is controversial.
But I
Yes,
do agree
exactly.
with him. Like I think he's. I mean, I just. But honestly, being honest, I mean, I feel open enough to talk about it here. But
Mm-hmm. Sure.
because you talk controversial stuff all the time, but I don't like the guy. I'll be honest, I don't like the guy. I never have.
Yeah.
But I don't think that Biden would be much better.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
So
I think that our country. I think our country's in a mess, and
yeah,
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 maybe
that's true. He
that's
does
also
come.
true.
I
He
agree with
comes
that.
across. I do agree, Danny. He comes across like that, but I also think that the actions that I yeah, I think the actions that he took were less bad than the actions that are being taken now.
I agree.
But I do agree that the way he acted, I can understand why so many were repulsed by the conduct. I get it, and these people are all politicians, and I don't know where our country's going. I know it's going in the wrong direction, and I know we're in
I
trouble.
agree with that. Yeah,
But
I agree with that.
this is why we need to talk about it on podcasts and educate people and speak up and say, hey, we need change in this country, a huge one. We need to elect the right person for the job, really. But yeah, it's extremely interesting how polarized our society has gotten.
Yeah,
Speaking of that VisionCast thing that you're the director of, you aren't the manager, by the way. You're the director of it.
yeah,
Speaking
I'm
of
the
that,
director.
speaking of that VisionCast thing, you said something else that I just wanted to be overly blunt about. Is that you said that you were kind of offended, as someone who's a Latina. I I have noticed. I'm going to ask you a really harsh question. I have noticed. I have noticed that when I look at my analytics and I look at the way that Aaron's opinion has been performing over the past 2.5 or 3, basically 3 years, I've noticed two things. I noticed that I perform very poorly in Latin America, and I have had several past guests, not going to name names, who are of Latin descent, and several of them do not like what I do at Aaron's Opinion. Can
Hmm.
you explain to me and be overly honest with me? Can you explain why, what is it about Aaron's Opinion that is repulsive, in my opinion, that is repulsive towards people from Latin America and the Spanish speaking world? Because I've consistently noticed that.
I don't know. I think it's just I don't know that it's necessarily Latinos. I think it's just people being closed-minded because I mean I'm Latina and I like
Right.
your podcast.
Right.
And Denny and Denise, I mean they speak Spanish. They think you're a pretty cool guy.
Right.
Um, so I mean not all Latino. I think just some people
Mm-hmm.
just are not open-minded. They don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to ask the hard questions. They don't want to have to answer the tough questions either. And
Right.
that's the unfortunate part. There's a lot of people in this country that just aren't open minded.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's just the truth of
Mm-hmm.
the matter. It's
So
nothing
I need to go back and explain something to you. I need to go back and explain something. I'm not saying that all Latinos and Latinas dislike me and my content. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that I've consistently noticed that the people who
mm,
dislike my things overall the most, and the group of people that I've received the highest number of disagreements from, are from that
from Latino.
demographic.
I don't
So
know. I think that's a coincidence. I think it's
yeah,
just people being narrow minded.
right.
That's what I think it is. I don't
So
think it
then
has
so
anything to do with them being Latino.
but no, it doesn't. But do you think maybe people from Latin America maybe are a little bit sometimes more skeptical and maybe less receptive at times? Is that maybe partially true?
I don't really know. I don't know. I just
Yeah,
think there's a lot of narrow mindedness in
that's
this
true.
world.
That's true. Hmm. Yeah. I'll tell you, I perform the best. The vast majority of my audience, much of them are in Africa, countries in Africa and Middle East and Europe and Asia and places like that. Yeah. But so, speaking of VisionCast, what can you tell me over the years about your audience and the types of, characters that you've attracted to listen to you guys over the years, by the way?
Well, Preston has more of the statistics because obviously that's on
Well,
his account. But
but also so does the director. So director, what can you tell me about the audience of VisionCast over the past few years?
no, I know I can tell you that. But I mean, as far as the statistics, as far as plays, like I mean, we've had a lot of people from the U.S. listen. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure we've had some people internationally that have listened as well. I don't know who listened where, but we have had a lot of people in the U.S. As far as um, our audience, I think they're a pretty open-minded bunch, and they like what we do. They keep coming back week after week
Well,
because we're
that's
just
really
funny
cool.
and we have a fun time, and that's
Mm-hmm.
really the most important.
Yeah.
That's really
Yeah.
all that matters.
The amount of support that you are, I can just tell. I've never met you in real life, but there's just something really cool about you, Stacey. You're just really supportive and just, your kindness. Just, I, I can feel it. I can just feel that you're just a cool, kind person. I can just feel it. Um, right, JC, exactly. Yeah, your kindness and your support is just very noticeable to me. So that's something
Well,
that I
thank
really
you.
look up to and really appreciate, and something that I've struggled with. I've struggled socially in my life, and I've noticed that for me, podcasting has been something that makes me feel better. That's helpful to me. I think that, quite frankly, I think that this podcast, in some regards, in some odd ways, is more of a medicine to me than to you. And if Aaron's opinion does help you, then I'm glad. But this podcasting thing, it's really medicinal. It really helps me to feel better,
Oh yeah,
just
it
by,
does.
yeah.
It's a great fun. I love podcasting, and
It's a great outlet for that, sure.
I love being part of VisionCast. And
Hmm.
ever since going to VisionCast, um, aw, yes, and I
Oh,
was
oh,
thanks,
and
thanks,
and
thanks,
and
JC.
that's right. And JC, I'm glad that you appointed her as director and not manager, because if you had appointed her manager of VisionCast, she wouldn't have accepted it, man. So I'm glad you appointed her director. I think that's a very important key point. Um, but what I wanted to ask you, Stacey, is, so what does a manager, what does a director of a podcast do? What types of administrative activities
Hello,
do you need to go through? You're
thank you.
directing a large group of people, and I just direct me. So what do you go through as a director, by the way? Hmm.
Oh, let's see. I was just recently promoted in July.
Hmm.
Because JC, as he said, and that big shout out to him, by the way. We've been friends for 11 years, and I have a very special surprise coming up for him, by the way, and for George and Denny. Yes, Denny, I do have a surprise for you coming up in the show, and maybe even on the interview, who knows, but definitely in the show for sure. Um, but I was promoted in July, and because JC, you know, he is now going to be starting going to a program to kind of help him. Uh, yes, I became director when he went to his camp in Alabama. Um, but he handed the baton to me before that, the week before, so that I could start as director. And at first it was just a temporary thing, but then JC and Preston decided to make it permanent and make it official. And ever since I took over, I mean, because JC is now a busy man. He's going to be starting this new independent living program and stuff, and he knows. I don't know. I don't remember everything he said. Oh, thank you,
Oh.
George. Um, and yeah, so he's going to be.
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank. Yes, I. Well, that's very true. So yeah. When I became director, I decided that there was definitely going to be, because I was glad to be given this opportunity to direct, because I'm very good at leadership. And I do listen to my teammates, I do want their input, but some things definitely needed to change. We have somebody who's been very patiently waiting to be interviewed since like 2021, and I don't know why he hasn't been interviewed yet, but that will be changing. Um, and just, I wanted to, you know, as director, I decided, because I promised JC I wouldn't let him down, I want to kind of, what's the word I want to use here? Enhance the scope of the VisionCast umbrella. Because when the podcast first started out, it was about technology. And then as we got bigger, it began to grow. And I wanted to expand the umbrella to encompass more. So I'm like, well, we're going to definitely have more interviews, but it doesn't have to be about technology all the time. It could be about inspirational stories. In fact, I have two interviews booked for next week. The first hour will be interviewing Chris Carroll, and I mean, if his story is not inspirational, I don't know what is. Because I mean, he's had so many hurdles he's had to face and obstacles in his life, and so many hardships, and yet somehow he managed to come through it all upbeat and helping others. So I said, absolutely, we're having him on because exactly.
Right. Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
guys are the founders and the owners, and you appointed me director, and I'm not going to let you guys down. I'm going to make the show better. And that's what I'm doing my best to do, is make the show better. And we have a great team, and we have a post-production team, Denny and Denise, and I help out with that too. And and, I've really, I mean, Denise edited our last episode, and I have to say, I'm impressed. She did a great job. I was very impressed. And Denny has wowed me from the beginning last year, because I was on vacation and I couldn't edit, so he took over. He wowed me last year, like, wow. And so, of course, as the director, I find ways to make it better, and I'm going to organize the team a little bit better. We're going to be having monthly meetings now to kind of make sure, I have to change the time of this Thursday's meeting because I forgot. Um, oh, thank you. Thank you, JC. That means a lot. I do my best. So I have to change the timing of this Thursday's meeting because I forgot that I am helping my friend out at 8 on Thursday. So I totally forgot. So now I'm going to have to change the time of that. We'll talk about that off air. But, I want to, arrange monthly meetings, delegate tasks a little bit better, organize the team a little bit better, book more interviews so we can get more, exposure. And we can also, as we're growing, in turn help other people grow. And that's also why I extended my invitation to you, Aaron, to be interviewed on the show.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Yes. Yeah.
maybe I mean, I don't know how long you're on vacation, but I've got Chris Carroll and I've got George next week. I was thinking because you were talking about. Yep.
Right. Right.
Right. I will write an agenda for the meetings.
hmm
Um, but as far as yesterday when you were interviewing JC and you asked about Donald Brown if we'd interviewed him,
hmm
yes, he has made a couple appearances, but we haven't fully sat down to interview him. But I was thinking on the 27th, because this today is Showcase Heaven. Next week we have Chris and George. And then the next week after that, Showcase Heaven again. So the week of the 27th. Oh, thanks, Preston. So the week of the 27th, I was going to see about interviewing Donald. And if you're available, I don't know if you're back from vacation, but maybe I could interview you guys together if that's something we can talk about, or at least interview Donald that week.
hmm Definitely. Yeah. I'll have to see what I'm doing that week, how I'm feeling, what's going on, but that definitely sounds doable. It definitely sounds like a good idea and all of that. Yeah. And both Chris Carroll and Donald Brown, but especially Chris Carroll, you're gonna love talking to him. He's had quite the journey.
Oh, yeah. He
So
told me all
so
about it on the phone yesterday. And we had a nice long phone conversation.
well,
And,
just
and
wait until the podcast you can see, because on the interview it's even more graphic and even more beautiful and even more interesting.
yeah,
But
it is
but
going to be graphic, just to warn the VisionCast people. It is going to be
yeah,
graphic.
prepare no
But
joke, prepare for takeoff for sure.
but it's not what I mean by graphic. I don't mean by swearing. I
hmm
mean that this guy has gone through a lot of very challenging times.
Right,
And
absolutely.
but yeah, yes, you'll learn about them, but you'll see how in the end, even though he's gone through all of them, he still has a smile on his face. He's upbeat and he's out there helping others.
Yeah, it's really
Which,
impressive. It's really impressive for me. It's really,
yeah,
really
I know.
impressive.
And I said to the VisionCast team, I
hmm
said, if this doesn't sound inspirational to you, then I don't know what is.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I have a couple more guests for you in the future that are even more inspirational. There are more in there. It does it. There are equally inspirational people, and
Oh
taking
yeah,
there's a couple people that have upped the ante that would give Chris Carroll a run for his money, but not many. Certainly not many. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Well, it's definitely not a competition or about giving anybody a run for their money.
Definitely no,
Because
definitely
we
not.
want,
Yeah, definitely not. definitely not. And that's all really good. And then as far as the other thing we've never really talked much about is, so what do you do outside of VisionCast these days? How else do you spend your time?
Okay. Well, I am on well, we'll edit the cuss words out, right, JC? Um but yes, outside of VisionCast, well, I live with Haley, my girlfriend, who's trans, and she's on the phone right now, but she's a very sweet and loving person. Um and I live with her full time now just outside of Cincinnati. So I do spend a lot of time with her. We like to go out on the water. We go on the Dixieland brunch cruise as often as we can because it's just a nice, relaxing way to spend a Sunday afternoon. We have a nice brunch and then we just relax on the water. It's a really nice way to just enjoy the day. And of course, all my other partners are long distance, but I do my best to spend time with them. And um, all right, all right, all right, sweetness, I love thee. Um, and we say I love thee, not I love you, because I love you is more reserved for like immediate family, like um, mom, dad, sisters, brothers. I love thee is for like special friends. Um, and yeah, and also people I'm dating. And so I spend time, with all of my partners as best I can, call them on the phone or on Zoom or whatever, and just spend time with them. I sing. I'm a part of ACB karaoke, like JC, and yeah, I mean, but I love VisionCast, and I look forward to it because, as I always say, and JC promoting me to director, that, and shout out to him for that because that really means a lot. Most people say, when I was promoted, most people will say I was on cloud nine. Well, for me, I was on cloud 11 because my favorite number is 11, and that's my lucky number. So I was on cloud 11 when I got promoted, and I look forward to it every week.
Absolutely. So what do you want to sing for us today?
Oh well, I I,
You
I
well,
haven't had
you brought it up.
a. Oh, oh. Um, let's see. Well, you put JC on the spot, so I should have known better. Let's see. What can I sing? Fly me to the moon. Let me sing among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, please be true. In other words, I'm in love with you.
Wow.
Yes,
That's
that is the song.
that's really good. That's really good. That is super good, Stacey. That's incredible. Yeah.
Thank you.
All
Yeah, we did
right.
that as a duet, JC and I. Um,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
should send you the duet so you could hear it, but yeah, we did that as a duet.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree, Eddie the Phoenix. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you guys have sung Perfect. I'm sure you guys have sung Perfect before. Yeah. And in songs that are similar to that. Yes. Very, very, very good. Mm-hmm. All right.
Thank you.
Well, cool. Um, so yeah, several of you, I noticed that many of you are aspiring artists in this group. So yeah, I mean, do you, Stacey, have a personal channel on YouTube where you just do covers of songs and things like that?
I do have a YouTube channel, but I have not. But I have been really busy and haven't had a chance to upload
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
Right.
but hopefully that will happen soon. I do
I understand.
have a channel.
Yeah,
You can
it's hard.
subscribe if you want. I just have been so busy. I haven't. Um,
Well,
but
you can send me. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
my YouTube channel is at sign and then my stage name K like kilogram RAZEY 25.
Right.
So
Hmm.
you can subscribe if you want. It's just gonna be a while till I can put stuff up there.
Yeah, because you have to record the cover, and then you have to get all the you have to type up the title right and cite the sources the right way and get it all set up right so that you're allowed to upload a cover. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely,
Yep.
absolutely. Very, very good. Very, very good. Well, cool. Cool. What about I've done a lot of traveling in my life. What about you, Stacey? Where have you traveled to overseas? I know we talked about it a few nights back, but where have you traveled outside of the States?
I've been to France in 2005.
Right?
Um, Went to Mexico, Costa Rica, and Nicaragua.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's really good. So, by the way, are you a fluent Spanish speaker? Like, is Spanish one of your languages?
I do speak Spanish, but I haven't practiced with anybody, so it's been a while. But I understand more than I speak. I wouldn't say I'm 100% fluent, but I do
Right.
speak it. I just, well, uh, one time, um, one time, Denise was talking about surprising the team in Spanish to Denny, but she didn't realize that I understood her. I think once she realized I understood her, like, oh shit, I can't speak Spanish in front of her. She understands everything I said. Yeah, she was saying she was gonna play something. I don't remember exactly what she said, but I understood exactly what she said in Spanish, and I translated it for the whole team. She's like, "Damn. Okay. Well, I guess. She's like, I guess I won't be doing that, speaking in Spanish in front of her anymore.
That trick doesn't work. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, Denise. I understand everything you say. Sorry.
Right.
But no, honestly, shout out to Denny and Denise. You guys are awesome. Awesome, awesome
Absolutely.
people.
Absolutely, they are.
Um,
Absolutely. I'm
I,
really looking forward to my one-on-one interview with Denise. She was the person that was saying that she's an empath and has a lot. I can tell she has a lot. She's got a lot to talk about, just as you do. That's going to be a lot to unravel for sure. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Definitely. So, what are some? I'm just curious. What are some other podcasts that you consume, and some of your other interests? A lot of times, people who are podcasters like us also are interested in a certain type of podcast. For me, it's horror and scary stories. But what about you? What type of podcast do you like to listen to?
I do more YouTube than I do podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
I like horror and scary stories. I like crime shows. I like anything to do with history or science or nature. Um, and well, I do. Thank you for the reminder. George and I do a show every Thursday night. Thanks to Donald Brown again. I tell you, he is the best boss to work for. I tell you, I can't
You
praise him
don't you don't.
enough.
I've told you. Ditto to Donald Brown. I know. Ditto to him. Absolutely. I know he's great.
Yeah, I can't sing his praises enough. He's an excellent boss. But he airs, and in addition to airing VisionCast, he airs Music Mayhem, which George and I do Thursday nights. Although George has been doing most of the work on that one, not because I don't want to help him, I do, but I've just
Mm-hmm.
had so much going on, so I just haven't been able to help as much. It's Music Mayhem with George and Stacey, although lately it's been more with George, but
Mm-hmm.
at least he still keeps the title. He doesn't change it on me. He's a sweet guy.
Yeah. Well, that's super good. Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I'm noticing apart from, oh yeah, and please do send in the WhatsApp, Stacey, or you can send it to me individually, however you like. Whenever you have a moment, I know we both of us have 1,001 things to do, but if you find a moment when you don't have 1,001 things to do, which is pretty hard to find, could you please send me the email address for me to click into your email list? I always like to click into
Oh,
it.
yes, I
Yeah.
did send that to the group. I can
Oh,
send
you
that
did?
to you
Oh, okay.
individually.
Okay. No.
Yes, I
Don't.
did.
No. Then don't send it in. No. My mistake. Then please don't send it individually. I'll go back and look for it. If you know you posted it in the group WhatsApp that I pulled you into, that's
Yeah.
fine. Then I'll find it. But yeah, I'll definitely subscribe to that. Have you? I'm just purely curious. Have you gotten much response from the public from your email list?
I mean, I've had people subscribe that are interested, like that we've, told about the list.
Mm-hmm.
But they usually just subscribe just to see what's going on.
Yeah, because
Sometimes
my
they,
list hasn't really grown. I mean, I have a Google Groups. You saw that I have a Google Groups for Aaron's opinion, and it hasn't really
yeah,
grown much. So
we have
I'm
quite a few subscribers. I don't know how many subscribers we have. I'd have to
yeah,
look.
yeah. I don't know what it is. I think sometimes people are just skeptical to join email lists, and that's one of the things that's an interesting thing to study is the skepticism around email lists. But yeah, hmm yeah, I know how to do it. Thank you, Denny. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Send a blank email with the word subscribe in the subject to that address. Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, really cool. So what are some,
Yep.
what are some questions that you really want to ask me? I have about 10 minutes today left.
Okay.
I knew you would do a magnificent job. What do you, Stacey, what do you really want to know about Aaron Richmond and Aaron's opinion to really make me sweat, as I say, to make me sweat to see if I'm worth my salt as a podcaster? What do you want
Uh,
to ask me?
well, I guess kind of going back because I wanted to kind of ask more questions
Absolutely.
Monday night when we were doing the interview. So I guess kind of going back to my question I started with oh, thanks Preston. Um my question, you know how you said you actually had to hang up on somebody and quit? I was just curious
Uh,
why
yes, that did happen one time a long time ago. Yes, what would you like to know about that?
why did you have to quit?
On that
You don't have to
person,
say
what?
names or anything. I was just wondering.
Um, honestly, I was just kind of weirded out by them. Their style was just the vibe wasn't there, and I could kind of tell that they, for whatever reason, were just not comfortable in that environment, and it just felt it just felt wrong. It just felt uncomfortable. And I just could kind of tell that they didn't really want to be interviewed by me, I think, and that's kind of my opinion. Yeah. It happens.
Okay.
Every once in a while you'll get a guess. It's just not a good fit. It does eventually happen. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, you can definitely, as far as you were talking about religion, if you ever do a religious or politics podcast, count me in as one of the panel. Because
Mm.
I don't mind talking politics or with you because I know you won't be mean
You're
about it.
you're an incredible, you know what, you're an incredible conversationalist, and you're just a great person to talk to. I tell you what, I have a playlist just for you. I have a playlist called Par here at Aaron's Opinion. Hey, all of you at home around the Zoom room here, you at home can look it up too. Just go to my channel on YouTube and go to playlists and then go to Par. And that stands for philosophy and religion. There's about 6 or 7 videos in there where we talk about just that thing.
Hmm.
Let me tell you, when I say we talk about those things, we talk all the way. I mean, people are
Yeah.
offended. People are, yeah, I will. If I
If you
remember,
want me to be part of
yeah,
it at some point, I gladly be willing to
I
talk
w-
about it.
I would
And
love, I would absolutely love that. One of the people who was in that group has kind of drifted from that section. But I tell you what I'm going to do. I am definitely going to, I'll send you the playlist for that. And then
okay.
I'm sure you'll have some
Yeah.
comments. But we really,
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about, evolution and God, and we dive. It's basically like a series on Aaron's Opinion where we only talk about that. So when I talk about it, we
Mhm.
talk about it all the way. It's like bang, like we're all the way into it. I mean, it's like, I think it's really fascinating, and I think it's really quite traumatic, and I think it's really quite
Yeah.
therapeutic in the same way. So, no, I don't
Yeah.
know. No, you're going to get a kick out of it for sure. So yeah, I'll
So as
send that over
far
to you.
as other
Yeah.
questions that
Mm-hmm,
I
sure.
have, when you've been in an interview with someone, have things gotten like really angry and heated?
They do. They have. I mean, I've had to, um, same interview. Do you remember where I was telling you how there was that one guest who was homeless and wanted to be the king, the president of the Republic of Texas, that guy?
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
that guy.
that guy, and then he told me about this. He was the one that put on the monk robes halfway through the interview because he's a monk, and that guy. And then no, I had to get him under control. I remember that. So that got a little heated and that got a little interesting. But then again, I also have compassion for him because I think he was in a moment in his life where he needed to have that conversation and he needed to talk about it, you know? So
Hmm.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I try to find compassion for those people, but it's kind of like, dude, you're delusional. It's like
Yeah. But and you're entitled to your opinion. That's fine. I don't necessarily disagree, but then if you go back to that episode, Stacey, where do you actually listen? See, yeah, I can tell that you're kind of darkly fascinated by that episode, right?
I don't know. What, by Chris Carroll or
No,
by
no, no,
what?
no, no, no. The person that the Republic of
Oh,
Texas guy. You kind of want to
I
hear that
didn't.
episode, right?
I mean, I kind of do, but like I don't judge the guy. How do I say this? I don't wish him ill. I don't wish anybody ill. I try to be open-minded and accepting of everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But I just can't help but say, I mean, I just hope and pray that he gets the help that he needs because he's delusional.
Yeah,
That's
that's
just
fair.
my opinion. Yeah.
That's fair.
But I
That's fair.
hope and
Well,
pray that he gets the
yeah.
help he needs.
Well, if you do listen, do you prefer? I think you prefer Spotify, right?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
easiest. Yeah.
I agree. Funny thing is, everybody says nobody talks about Spotify enough, but Spotify is the easiest to use. So, no, I'll send you some stuff because I mean your opinion is fine. That's no worries. But I also think you would be interested in that one because of some of his stances and some of the things that he said and all the struggle that he's been through. He's been through a lot in his life too. So then I kind of took the compassionate side. I know you're compassionate, but I kind of took the you know um you know I kind of took the compassionate side, but who knows. I hope that he's well too, and he's since disappeared, so hopefully he's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I hope he got the help he needed.
Right. Yeah.
I hope he got the
Well,
help he needed.
hopefully. And who knows. What else?
Um,
What else would you like to know?
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to know, but probably do shout out. Oh, I will do a shout out and say that George and Denny both prepare to be surprised in today's show. Because I
Okay.
didn't know where everything was going. But George and Denny prepare to be surprised in today's show.
All right. All
And
right.
JC even is going to get a little something too. A little, yeah, but George and Denny, be prepared.
Okay. Okay. Well, good. Well, that's fine. If someone wants to get in touch with Crazy Stacy 25, how can they do that?
Well, you can always email me at crazy underscore Stacy 25 at iCloud.com. And that's spelled K like kilogram, R-A-Z as in zebra, E-Y underscore Stacey. Yes, my name does have an E. Don't forget it. 25 at iCloud.com. You can also iMessage me there. Um, And I'll give out my phone number upon request, or if you're in the WhatsApp Aaron's guest group, you can always message me privately. And if anybody wants to be a guest on VisionCast, email me, message me privately, whatever it is. I'd be glad to work with you. And even if we're not doing interviews, because I am going to be sending the Zoom link to the Aaron's Opinion guest group for today's talent
Please,
show,
please do.
I will be sending that. So anybody, um, anybody that is free to just check us out. I mean, even if we're not interviewing, don't think that you can't come on the show just because we don't have an. Don't think that you can't come on. You're always welcome on the show. In fact, we really would like to get some more guests from all around the world. So please, 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 feel free to join us anytime and check us out, even when we're not interviewing somebody.
Absolutely. All right, then. All right. Well, ditto to you. I know that a lot of you at home sitting in the audience have already asked me questions. Plus, I wanna keep things moving for you guys. I want to let you guys get back to your day, and I want to let you all get ready for your talent show in about an hour. So that's where I would like to end the episode today. Thank you, Stacey, Crazy Stacey 25. Great conversation as always. I'm going to let you get back to your directing and getting set up for the talent show. So thanks so much for joining us today. And as we like to say, help one person today, help 1 million people tomorrow. If you're still watching on YouTube, thanks for joining me today. Thanks for joining Stacey and I and everybody here at, I think JC really wants to go get ready for the talent show. he just flagged right out right when I said that. So yeah, thank you for watching us on YouTube. Like it on YouTube, comment below on YouTube, share it, and tickle the bell notification to know when we go live next on Aaron's Opinion. Ditto VisionCast with JC and friends. Thank you so much, everyone. Stay safe out there, all right? We'll talk soon. Take care, everybody. Help one person today. Help 1 million people tomorrow. Take care. Be safe.